Another video. There's nothing exciting about this video. Matter of fact, they don't even show the defendant in this case. But don't think that you could do a crime and it just go away, because there's 3 letters, DNA. DNA sticks around for a long time. And what this young man did to this young lady, she was 11 years old at the time. She was 11 years old at the time. She was going to the store. And why would an 11-year-old be going to the store by themselves? I don't know. Everybody parent differently. I know I never sent mine to the store at 11, but I walked to the store at 11. So, parents parent different, right? But he basically sexually assaulted this young lady when she was 11. It happened in 2013. We are now in 2024, and she is testifying about what happened to her. So, so if it's 13, 2013 is 2024. So she was 11. So she's about 22 now, right? And she's telling a vivid story of what exactly happened to him. I think pedophiles, rapists, they should all just walk the plank. Just go to the sea, walk the plank into a sea of sharks, because you take a person's innocence and they are never the same. Never the same. You got some men who swore off ladies because of what happened to them, because mama friends done molested them. You got some boys who were molested, like Saucy Santana. Mom came out and said he was touched by a cousin. So that's why he's the way he is now. So that's enough of me rambling. Let's dive into the content. Please like, comment, subscribe. And we'll be coming to you with more videos in the future.
There are no other preliminary matters. We can get started. If there are no, sorry, if there are no, pardon me, I forget, I tend to speak very fast. If there are no other preliminary matters, the prosecutor should start with the case this morning. Thank you, guys. So people comments, Cassie, break. And then as we get started, just make sure that your responses are out loud and verbal enough, because not only do we have to hear it, but also the lady over there has to be able to hear you clearly, because we're making it that, okay? Your witness, ma'am.
Thank you, Your Honor. Well, that's loud. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Could you please state your name and spell your last name again for the record?
Cassie Ray, R-A-Y.
Ms. Ray, I'm going to bring your attention to November 27th, 2013, approximately 11 years ago. How old were you at that time?
18.
And do you recall who you were living with at that time?
I was in between my grandmother's and my aunt.
And what cities did your grandmother live in?
Detroit.
How about your aunt?
Detroit.
And were you living with anyone other than your grandmother or your aunt?
No.
Does something happen to you on that date of November 27, 2013 that brings you to court today?
Yes.
And what's that?
I was snatched into a vehicle.
Now, Ms. Ray, when you say you were snatched into a vehicle, I'd like to start at the beginning. So what happened?
I was left out of my aunt's house to live from go to John to go to the gas station on 6 Mile and John to purchase cigarettes and something to drink.
So Ms. Wright, you said you left your aunt's house and you
Yes.
gave an address. What was that address?
I don't recall.
Okay. Do you remember what time it was approximately?
It's probably like 11 or 1 o'clock.
Daytime, nighttime?
Nighttime.
So you leave your aunt's house. Who were you with at your aunt's house?
I was with 2 friends and a cousin.
And what are the friends and cousins' names, do you know?
The friend's name is Tate and Corn, and the cousin name is True. Real name Demetrius.
Demetrius. And you said cousin, is this a blood cousin?
No,
And Tate and Corn are friends, so they're not related to you either.
no.
So you leave your aunt's house. Do you leave alone or do you leave with someone?
I live by myself.
And you testified you were going to the gas station. How far was the gas station from your aunt's home?
I'm not sure, but I know it's on John 6 Mile.
And what, if anything, happens next?
After I leave the gas station, I started walking back towards my aunt's house. It was a car going back and forth from towards 6 Mile and John to 7 and John, and that car passed me about 3-4 times.
And it was the same car that was passing you 3 to 4 times?
Yes, because there was only 2 cars on that street that was visible. The 4-door brown car, and then it was a silver Ford Fusion.
And the car that you testified passed you 3 to 4 times, which one was that?
The brown 4-door car.
How did that make you feel?
I might have got nervous, so I took another street to go around to Charleston and come back to my aunt's house.
And I presume, are you walking or?
Walking.
And I know you testified your aunt's home is in the city of Detroit. Is this gas station also in the city of Detroit?
Yes.
What, if anything, happens next?
As I was walking down the street, the 4-door brown car came down the exact street I was in. And I was grabbed from behind like this from my shoulders.
I'm sorry, Mr. I'm going to stop you just a sec. So you're walking, is the car coming this way or behind you?
Behind.
I'm sorry, Judge, could we have a verbal description of what this way?
Sure, and I apologize. I
Thank
didn't do that.
you, just for the we're establishing record, thank you, in terms of just, I indicate for the record, the directions that you're indicating. Thank you.
Of course, Your Honor. So, Ms. Ray, you testified you saw the car. Was the car, did you see the car because it was coming in the opposite direction as you were walking, or did you see it once it had passed you?
It passed me 3 or 4 times on John R. And when I turned down another street, it was coming from John R. And I'm walking towards Charleston. It was behind me. And the only way I noticed it because of the headlights.
Okay, so Your Honor, may the record reflect that Ms. Ray is indicating that the car, when she saw this, when it turned the corner, it was coming from behind, and she indicated with her hand that there were headlights behind her head.
You know, Mr. Josie, anything further?
No,
response? Okay, thank you.
And was this the same car or different than the one you testified, the 4-door brown car?
Yes, it's the same car.
Okay. And what, if anything, happens next?
I was snatched from behind, grabbed from behind, shoulders and arms.
Okay, so could you describe, did you see someone get out of that car, or why?
No, I didn't see him get out of the car yet. I was walking as fast as I could towards Charleston Street.
Okay, and then what did you feel? Could you show us?
Well, and I was like this part of this right here is from behind.
So Your Honor, may the record reflect Ms. Ray is indicating that someone grabbed her from behind, both hands around the top area of her arms,
Yes.
close to her shoulders. Was it like a bear hug, or what kind of?
It's just like a grab hug. I was smaller then, so you could just literally like just grab me and do that.
Okay, so you indicated you were smaller about 11 years ago. How much did you weigh back then, if you remember?
About 135 pounds.
Okay. And how tall were you then, and presumably now?
5 feet.
I'm sorry, you said 5 feet.
Just 5 feet.
And when he grabs you, could you see this person's face?
Not until we got into the vehicle.
Okay, tell me what is going through your mind at that time when he grabs you.
That I was going to be hurt.
Okay.
because it never happened before.
Okay. Do you say anything?
Just inside of the car, I was put into the passenger seat through the driver's door. And the only thing I seen was his face, and then he assaulted me. He hit me in my face first, and I like fainted.
So Ms. Ray, I'm sorry, you're telling us a lot, so I want to follow up on some of the things you said.
Okay,
So you said that, well, my first question was, did you say anything to him when he grabbed you?
I didn't say anything.
Okay, does he say anything to you that you remember?
Pretty much just to be quiet and don't scream or nothing.
Be quiet and don't scream.
Yeah.
And then how far from where he grabbed you is the car?
It's not far, probably like a house or two.
Okay. And you tell us how you were put into the car.
Through the driver's door.
Through the driver. Through the driver where the steering wheel is?
Yes.
Is there anyone else in the car?
No.
Does he say anything to you at this point?
He asked me did I have any money, and I told him no.
And did you have any money?
No. I spent it at the gas station.
And did you spend all of it or did you have any left over?
No, probably like $2 or $3.
Okay.
That was about it.
Do you have $2 or $3 left over?
Yeah.
Now, you testified that this person, at some point you do see this person's face.
Yes.
And when is that?
We got into the vehicle.
Okay. Have you ever seen this person before in your life?
No.
Do you remember what this person looked like?
Yes.
Could you tell us?
At the time he had a rough haircut, dark skin, large ears, small slanted eyes. His nose was bigger than his mouth, and he was dark complected.
Ms. Ray, do you see the person who assaulted you back in November of 2013 here in the courtroom today?
Yes.
Could you please point that person out by something they're wearing in the location of the courtroom?
Right here in the crease.
Now, to make the record reflect, Ms. Ray has identified the defendant.
Thank you, Mr. Jones, anything in response?
No, Judge.
Okay, thank you, let the record reflect.
So, Ms. Ray, thank you, Judge. At this point, you're inside the vehicle. Do you know if the doors were locked or if you were able to leave?
Not that I recall.
Did you feel free to leave?
No.
Why not?
Because he was on top. He punched me in my face.
Could you show us how he punched you or where he punched you?
Right here in my face. Right in my nose, the bridge of my nose, and the button part of my nose.
You're gonna make the record reflect Ms. Ray is touching the bridge of her nose and the tip of her nose with her hand.
Thank you.
And how did that feel?
It hurted, so I played like I passed out.
And what do you mean you played like you passed out?
When he hit me, I wasn't unconscious, but I acted as if I was unconscious.
What did you do to act unconscious?
I just laid there.
Does he say anything?
He told me not to bite him because he was inserting his penis into my mouth.
Okay, so tell us about that.
After he punched me in my face, it was all the way over on the passenger side, and he told me not to bite him because he was placing his penis in my mouth. And then when he got done with that, he placed his penis in my vagina after using his fingers to find placement.
Okay, so tell us, and I'm sorry to have to ask you to walk through this and relive this, but where are you in the car? You sit in the
Passenger seat.
passenger seat. And
Yes.
how does his body when he gets his penis in your mouth?
It's heavy.
Okay. And how are you positioned?
I'm still just like this.
Okay, so you're sitting back in the
Passenger seat.
passenger seat?
Yes.
And you're on the way the record like Ms. Ray is leaning back, indicating, was the seat reclined?
Yes.
Indicating that the seat was reclined.
Thank you.
And then what does he do? How does he get on top of it?
It just climbed over.
He climbed over?
Yes.
And so is your face facing his face?
Yes.
Okay. And so you testified that his penis went into your mouth.
Yes.
Okay. And then you testified that his fingers went into your vagina to find placement. What do you mean by that?
I guess so he could find The correct other place is penis.
Okay, and if your vagina is like this, how far did his fingers go into your vagina?
Probably just like to the tip,
Okay,
a little bit of that much.
okay, but it went past the lips of your vagina?
Yes,
And is he saying anything to you when he's doing these things?
don't scream.
And what if anything happens next?
I don't recall all the rest of the verbal, but the shoes were on. When he got done, he opened the passenger door and threw me out. My leg was still caught in the door. So he was trying to close the door, he was closing on my leg. My pants were still halfway down. And my phone was hidden in the back of my chest. And when I got my phone, I called for my 2 friends. And they came and picked me up and took me to St. John's Hospital.
So, Ms. Gray, you testified were you, I'm assuming, stopped in a vehicle in front of some houses? Is that where he put you in, or did you move somewhere?
We had moved.
Okay, how far did you move?
I'm not sure, but it was close to the block I was took from.
Okay, so it was close by, he just moved a little bit?
Yeah,
And where he moved to, was there anyone around?
no,
Could anybody help him?
no.
Could you describe the surroundings in that area?
The only thing I can remember is the house that I was in front of. It had the large white, had a large white porch with a large, I don't know what you call them, podiums, where the stands for the railing. And then they just had their porch lights on and there was a green bench on the porch.
There were porch lights on?
Mhm.
Could you see anyone inside of it?
There were porch lights on.
And you testified earlier that you had some change.
Yeah,
Where did you have that change?
I believe it, I can't remember, but I do believe it was in my bra because I didn't carry a purse.
Okay. And after the sexual assault, did you have that change on you still?
Yes, I believe so. They took all my clothes off at the hospital and I didn't get none of this stuff back.
Do you recall if the defendant did anything else to you while you were in the car?
No, I don't recall.
Do you recall if there was anything left in the car when you left after the assault?
I don't remember. My scarf. I had a scarf. And, cause I wore a leather jacket. My scarf, so I believe it was a burgundy scarf. It was out from Walmart, just wrapped around my neck. That was probably the only distinctive clothing that I had on because it was a gift.
And back in 2013, did you talk to police about this?
Yes,
And do you recall if you told them something different about the money?
I don't know, I don't remember. It was 11 years ago.
Would it refresh your recollection if you saw your witness statement?
I believe so.
Yes. Yes.
Judge, the witness didn't actually say that she doesn't recall. She said that nothing else was taken from her. So to be presenting her with a statement that she may have made approximately 11 years ago seems to be inappropriate. Unless the witness says, I can't recall, can I see something? It's not refresh my recollection. She has a foundation.
Response by.
Your Honor, I believe she says she doesn't recall if she gave a different statement back in 2013 about the money than she is giving today. And I asked her if it would refresh her recollection to look at her report 11 years ago, and she said it would. Thank you, Judge. Your Honor, I'm approaching with a 4-page witness statement taken on November 28th, 2013 at 4:10 a.m. So you can look through those 4 pages and tell me if you see your signature on them.
Yes,
And directing your attention, sorry, I have to not consent. And is that your statement from 2013?
yes,
The statement that you gave to police after the assault?
yeah, this happened right after I was admitted into the triage room.
And sorry, may I have that back for 1 second?
Yeah.
Directing your attention to page,
Not to judge, the whole prosecution is leading the question, or leading the witness to a specific point. The witness review it, call it, refreshes the recollection, and it's fine.
Judge Sherman, counsel again, your client, I mean, your witness does have an opportunity to review the document. It's only as to for ability to review the document, and it would be entirely different for that to determine whether or not if that refreshes your memory as to anything related to your last question.
thank you, Judge. Ms. Ray, could you read through your report and let me know if that refreshes your memory as to my last question?
Read the top to bottom.
Yes, so take your time,
Yes,
welcome
take your
to
time.
just read through it as it relates to your statement.
I was on Golden Gate in
Judge,
No,
January.
no, no, ma'am, you don't need to read, just read it to yourself, sorry. No problem. Just read it to yourself. Okay, we'll give you a moment. And just let us know when you're done reading. Got a name first for treatment? Yes, and you had an opportunity to review the document? Yes. Okay, very good. You stated that I can have a prosecution. And Madam Prosecutor, just so you guys remember, you can just reiterate the question.
Yes. Ms. Ray, do you recall telling the police something differently in 2013 about the money?
Yes.
And what was that?
He had got $3.
I'm sorry?
So he had got for $3.
Okay, and do you remember today?
After reading that, yes, but no, I didn't remember. I don't remember the hospital keeping the stuff they took for evidence.
So you testified that in 2013, you said that he had taken it.
Yeah,
Do you remember how he took it?
no,
And You testified earlier that the defendant had said some things to you. Did he threaten you?
Yes.
How? Or if you remember what he said?
The most discreet thing I can remember what he said, don't scream or he'll kill me.
What was going through your mind when he said that?
I thought he was.
Did you feel free to leave the car?
No,
Did you ever see any weapons?
no.
You described being punched in the face and something about your leg. Did you have any injuries?
They didn't give me anything. They did x-rays at the hospital. It was nothing broken, but my leg was hurt from the door smashing.
Okay. You testified nothing broken.
Yeah.
Could you see anything?
That was broken?
No, any bruising or any injuries? Did you
No.
have any cuts on the leg, anything like that?
Not that I remember.
How about your nose?
My nose, it was probably like messed up for like a week, but it wasn't broken or anything. He punched my face real hard.
Do you recall if you ever took any photos?
Hard, I don't recall.
So how long would you say the sexual assault lasted?
I couldn't give you an exact number. It felt like a lifetime to me.
Okay. And do you know if this person ejaculated?
Yes.
Okay. How do you know that?
Because it was coming down my leg.
Do you know if you wore a condom?
No, he did not.
And how does this assault end? Or are you at some point able to get away from this man?
He opened the passenger door and pushed me out. And that's why my leg was caught in the door.
When you say push me out, do you mean the defendant?
Yes.
Could you show us how he pushed you out?
I was just like, if this is the seat, this is the door handle. So him going back towards the driver's side, he's opened the door, pushed me out. My pants are halfway off. My leg is caught in between the seat and the door. So he's trying to close the door and he's hitting my leg.
And I made a record reflect that Ms. Ray showed that a pushing motion with both her hands in a shoving direction. And once you are out of the vehicle, what happens next?
I grabbed my phone.
Okay.
To call my friend to come and get me.
Who did you call?
Dante Corn.
For those of friends you testified earlier were in the house. Okay. And what happens next?
When they came and got me, they asked me questions about what happened and rushed me to St. John's Hospital.
Did you receive medical treatment? Were you admitted?
Yes.
Can you tell us about what medical treatment you received?
Just pretty much, I think they did prescribe me something for pain. I just waited pretty much. They gave me something to eat. And they did a test. They ran a rape kit test. They did an x-ray on my leg to make sure nothing was broken. My nose was checked out, nothing was broken. And then I waited for the detectives. They questioned me and said the same thing.
And when you say a rape kit, were samples and swabs taken out of your body?
Yes.
And you testified you didn't know this person who attacked you.
No, I didn't.
To your knowledge, was anyone arrested in the connection to your sexual assault in 2013, 2014, 2015, 2016?
Not to my knowledge.
When's the next time you hear about your case in this investigation?
In 2023.
Tell us about that.
I was contacted by a detective. They came to the house to let me know they were picking up the case concerning this case. And I told them, like, cause I haven't spoken to anybody since it happened. And from there, they just been working with me to, try to get me here today.
And did you have a choice whether to proceed in 2024?
Yes,
And was it your choice to proceed with this case?
yes.
With indulgence? Thank you, Judge. No further questions at this time.
Thank you for them.
Thank Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Miss Ray, correct?
Yes,
So back at this particular day, you were staying with your aunt, is that correct?
in between my aunt and my grandma.
Okay, but on this particular day, were you staying at your aunt's house?
Yes,
Okay, and I think you had testified or had given a statement more recently than the night of the incident, when you were reconnected by the detective here at the Wayne County Sheriff's Office, correct?
yes,
You gave a verbal statement to them, which they eventually wrote out on your behalf, correct?
I believe so.
Okay, and you had said that you weren't staying with your family, necessarily at the house, your parents' house. You were staying with a woman that was taking girls off the streets, is that right?
No, it was, oh, my aunt.
That was your aunt you were referring?
Yeah,
She was taking kids off the streets.
yeah, anybody in trouble or needed something until they either went back home the next day or she took them to the house for school.
And so as your aunt saw that you were a troubled teen and wanted to help you out, true?
No, I'm always allowed there. It wasn't that she just, I'm always allowed there. So-
Then why did you add that little information about your aunt that's in troubled teen?
Because of the other people staying in the house.
Who are the other people that are staying in the house?
My cousin Demetrius, my friends, Troop, Dante, and there were other girls there that I'm, not particularly know.
Were these the same people that you contacted the evening of the assault to take you to the hospital?
Yes,
And you said your cousin Dante.
Dante is a friend, and
Friend.
Lauren is a friend. Demetrius, who we call Troop, is a cousin.
So Demetrius is your biological cousin?
No, we grew up together.
So none of these people are blood related?
I'm
No.
sorry, because you're talking over each other. And I have Demetrius as your biological cousin. I have we grew up, that's all I have.
Okay, so we'll just start from the top, ma'am. So just to clarify, the individuals that you named in your direct testimony that Mr. Goes' defense is asking about are friends, they are not biologically related, is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Very good, thank you, madam. Where does that help? Very good. So Mr. Gozi, the court appreciates that you want to maintain a rhythm, but once you ask the question, should be an opportunity to respond. Ma'am, also be advised that whenever the attorney asks a question, wait until they're finished asking the question, and then when they've stopped, then you can respond, because they're more than just us listening. Madam Court has to report everything that we're saying, so two people are talking at one time, it's very challenging for her. So if anything, just wait until the question is asked. Even if you know what's coming, just wait until it's asked and then respond. Thank you, appreciate you. Okay, Mr. Gozi, proceed.
So when you said that you were friends or your cousin, you're referencing your friends, just for clarification, true?
Yes,
And these people, these friends of yours, they stood by you at the hospital while you were being admitted at St. John's back in 2013?
just for the beginning.
Just for the
Yes,
And then the police arrived at some point later on that morning, is that true?
yes,
And your friends, they weren't there to talk to them, is that correct?
no,
And then you gave the police officers who first arrived at this scene a description of what had happened, true?
yes,
And you had indicated to them that the car in color was burgundy, isn't that true?
I don't recall, I don't remember.
And you also indicated to them in your written statement as well as to the police, the vehicle that passed you by 2 times, correct?
I don't remember, I do remember seeing it multiple times.
Okay. Looking at your statement, would that help refresh your recollection as to the number of times you saw the car?
Yeah, about 3 or 4 times.
Yeah, Coach.
Yes.
Let me know when you finish. Yep.
Yeah.
After reviewing this, does it indicate the number of times you saw the car?
Yes,
How many times?
twice.
2 times. And today you testified that it made you feel very suspicious to see this car, correct?
Yes,
Do you remember your statement stating that you didn't pay any attention to that car?
at first, I told them in the statement that the car came by me twice.
Right. In your statement, you said, quote, page 1, I didn't pay attention. I was on John R. 1 block before Margaret when I felt from behind his hand cover my mouth and his other hand went around my waist. Remember giving that statement?
No, I don't, but reading it, I do. See, I gave it.
Okay. And you were telling the truth back then?
Yes,
Were you being accurate back then?
I believe so, yes,
Was it a complete statement?
yes.
When you were in the car, he took you from behind, correct?
Yes,
And he wasn't, that person was not facing you because their hand was covering you from behind and dragging you from behind. Is that true?
he grabbed my arms.
Grabbed your arms from behind
Yes.
and was dragging you from behind?
Pulled me to the car.
Pulled you to the car. How far were you from the car for this person to pull you to that car?
Probably only like 1 or 2 houses away from the car.
So this person dragged you, pulled you from behind, backwards, pulling you about 2 houses in length. True?
Yeah, the houses on John are pretty close.
Okay. And the other hand, both arms were around both of your arms, correct?
From what I recall, yes.
Okay. And you were screaming bloody murder, I presume, correct?
No,
Did you know who this person was?
no, I did not.
You ever seen this person before?
Not until we got into the vehicle.
And then once you got into the vehicle, that person, well, before you got into the vehicle, the person then takes you off. You're on the sidewalk, is it fair to say?
Yes,
Walking on the sidewalk, traveling northbound on John R.
I'm going towards Charleston and the car came from John R.
Okay, so you're walking on what street then?
Margaret.
Margaret, okay. So you're on Margaret, traveling towards Charleston, and the vehicle came from John R.
Yes,
So this person, and you're walking on the sidewalk, correct?
yes.
And the car is parked on the street?
It wasn't parked, it was coming down the street.
Right.
And if you're walking, you don't know if the car is pulling into a driveway or not. Cause I've been in the area, so I wasn't too sure.
Okay, so when you eventually get to the car, was the car parked on the street?
Yes,
Okay, so they drag you from behind 2 houses to a car parked on the street, correct?
yes.
With the headlights on the vehicle?
I can't remember.
And the person takes you from the sidewalk around the front of the car to the driver's side and then pushes you inside of the car, correct?
From the sidewalk to the driver's side into the passenger seat.
Into the passenger seat. And then the person tells you don't say anything and you drive off. And the 2 of you drive off, sure?
Yes,
And then you travel approximately how long before the car comes to a stop?
I can't give you an exact estimate, it wasn't far though,
About a block or 2, would you say?
probably,
And then the car comes to an abrupt stop,
yes,
correct? And then immediately the person punches you in the face a couple of times, is that true?
they asked me, did I have any money?
I asked you if you had any money first, you're right.
Yes,
And then then after you gave no response, the person then punches you a couple of times.
yes,
Punches you once in the button of your nose, the top of your nose, and once at the bridge of your nose.
yes,
And then you said you played like you passed out.
yeah, I played unconscious.
The next thing you know, there was a person's male genitalia, penis, was entering into your mouth, right?
Yes,
Now, then you said that after the person was done with the whole incident, you were then trying to get out of the car,
no,
told to get out of the car,
I was pushed out of the
pushed out. So you're still in the front passenger seat. The other person is in the front driver's seat, true?
Yes,
And then,
in between the driver's seat and the middle console, when he was done, he was climbing from over me, opening the door, pushed me out, and my leg was still in the door. and he was closing the door. When I got out, my pants were still off, and I reached for my phone to call for help.
That wasn't my question. The question was the person still in the driver's seat? Yes or no?
No, no,
Okay, so you're telling me the person was on top of you, opening the door and pushing you out?
no, that's what I was telling you, he was going back to the driver's seat, he wasn't completely in the driver's seat.
Understood. So it was straddling the center console while pushing you out, correct?
Yes, sir.
What kind of car is this, then?
So four-door was a small, like, sedan car.
Sedan?
Yeah.
Manual
I
transmission,
don't know
or
how.
was it a manual transmission, or did it have the transmission on the steering column?
I'm not sure. I'm not a mechanic.
Okay.
Well, I'd like to know exactly how this all could have happened, where somebody, an adult male, could have climbed into the middle with a stick shift, riding up.
The court will allow Mr. Gozi at some point, because here's the thing. Terms such as transmission versus, the type of transmission versus manual, perhaps just more colloquial terms. In other words, did it have a stick shift? The person may be more familiar with the term stick shift versus manual, where you
You're right. Yeah.
change gears with the gear shift on the steering column, perhaps something, so it's easier for visual.
Sure. Do you drive a car?
No,
Do you know the parts of the car on the inside where you shift gears, or
the gear shift, yes,
was that located in the center console?
not that I recall.
So, and then that's how the person eventually got you out of the vehicle, was by leaning over and pushing you out.
Yeah.
And then you fell out of the vehicle. Is that correct?
I was pushed out of the vehicle and I fell onto the ground, yes.
And your leg was still dangling inside.
Yes, sir.
The person was slamming the door from the inside of the car
Yeah,
to close the door on your leg, correct?
yes,
Remember telling the police, the person actually, in your own statement, the person got out of the car and pulled you out of the car. Do you remember just giving that statement?
no, I do not.
Again, looking at your statement, will that help refresh your recollection? Oops. Didn't you tell the police, when he got done, he told me to open the door. When I did, he got out and walked around to my side. He snatched me and threw me on the ground. Do you remember giving that statement?
No, I don't.
You were being truthful on that, back on that.
Yeah, I gave them everything that was happening within one night. That was a lot for an 18-year-old girl to go through.
I appreciate that, but like, answer to my
I
question.
did.
My question is that what you told the police, correct?
If that's what's written, yes.
And then you also told them that he kicked you in your ribs.
I don't recall, but if that's what's written, yes, that's what I said.
And then he grabbed you the hair by the back of your head and pulled you back into the car.
I don't remember that.
Were you lying to the police then?
No,
So, today you testified that he punched you a couple of times, once in the nose, and once in the bridge of the nose, correct?
she asked me where did he punch me in the nose, but I did just like this.
So you say you got punched in the face, but back then, 11 years ago, the night of the incident, he punched you, he kicked you, pulled you by the hair, correct?
Yes,
Today you testified that he was pushing you out of the car. Back then, he was pulling you into the car and pushing you out of the car. True?
he put me into the car before the incident.
Well-
happened, yeah.
Right, but I'm talking about, I should have clarified, you're right. After the incident, after the whole assault was done, the sexual assault was allegedly done. After the sex, he then pushes you out of the car, then comes around the other side of the car and drags you back into the car. Correct?
No,
But that's what you told the police. Were you lying to the police when you told them that?
no,
You also went to the hospital and they did an examination of it. Do you remember that?
yeah,
St. John's Hospital.
Yes.
You saw a medical doctor to examine you for any physical injuries, the emergency doctor.
Mhm.
Is that a yes?
Yes,
You also spoke to and were observed by and examined by a sexual assault nurse examiner. Do you remember that?
yes,
It's a different person altogether, correct?
yes,
And she looked over your entire body to see if there are any markings on you. Is that a yes?
yes.
There were no markings on you, was there?
Objection, Your Honor, not the correct witness. How would she know what the nurse sustained?
Did you review those records?
No, I did not.
Did you show the marks to the doctor?
When I went to the hospital, they did an exam. I don't know, I wasn't contacted until 2023 about this case.
Are you sure about that?
I'm positive.
Absolutely positive.
Yeah.
Isn't it true that the police actually tried to get a hold of you? Shortly after, like within weeks, to discuss this case with you. Do you remember that?
I'm not sure if that's what they were there for.
Police Officer Reed has tried to contact you almost days after being assigned the case, within days of the assault. Do you remember that?
No,
He contacted you and asked if you could give a description of the person to do a photo or to do a composite sketch of the individual. Do you remember that?
no, I was spoken to with the police on the 28th of November. After the 28th of November, I heard nothing from Wayne County. From the police department, my brother contacted me, like I told the prosecutor, to let me know detectives had came by his house to speak to me. Me not knowing the matter, I didn't go. So I spoke to no one into the year of 2023.
So basically what you're saying is that the police dropped the ball.
I don't know what they did.
Because in fact, the police tried to contact you shortly after. Specifically on the 30th, they left voicemail messages, November 30th, 2013, they left voicemail messages. And they contacted you and they spoke to you, but there was a lot of loud music going on in the background. You said you would call them back. It sounded like a party. Do you remember that?
No, I don't.
This happened allegedly, if I'm not mistaken, according to the information, on or about the 28th of November, 2013. So we're talking within 2 days. Police officers are following up and trying to get a hold of you.
No, I don't.
In addition to that, they tried contacting you because you did speak to a police officer on the date of in question, correct?
I'm in the hospital next.
Yeah, that would be Nathan Reed, correct?
Sorry.
That would be a Nathan, police officer Nathan, Nathan, Reedus, Readeous.
If it was the detective at the hospital, yes, I spoke to him at the hospital.
Well, there was another detective at the hospital you gave that written statement to. That would have been Detective Joanne White, Wight. So there was 2 police officers you spoke to, one being a Detective White. You gave them a description of what had happened, correct?
Yes,
You gave them a written statement of what had happened, correct?
yes,
They tried to follow up with you and to do a composite sketch at the very least, correct?
incorrect, because I didn't get in touch with nobody. I didn't speak to anybody.
So so the detective is lying when they say that you did not give them a composite sketch because you couldn't remember what the person looked like. You really didn't get a chance to look at it. That's what you told them, correct?
I did get a chance to look at him.
Then why would you have told the detective that you didn't?
I gave the description of the man the same night. I gave the same description in 2023. I gave the same description this morning at 10 o'clock. My description of the defendant never changed.
You say that, but then why didn't you submit to a composite sketch?
No one got in touch with me.
So-
I spoke to no one.
So on November the 30th, you didn't talk to a detective, is that what your testimony is?
Yes,
On December 15, 2013 at 7 p.m., you didn't receive a voicemail from the same detective or police officer?
no,
You didn't receive a call on July 14, 2014?
no,
You didn't get hear from Detective Weekly on November 13, 2014?
no,
So at no time, other than the date of the incident, is your testimony that you ever spoke to anybody about this case?
I haven't spoken to anyone at all since the incident. until 2023.
And they didn't reach out to you, is your testimony, correct?
Asked and answered at this point.
No, saying, it's been established, counsel, you did indicate dates and ask, the complaint, as to each.
Now, you had mentioned that this area, in your statement to the police, way back when, the night of the incident, that one of the people that you saw, if I'm not mistaken, catch her name, was a known prostitute in the area that you thought the car was driving around trying to talk to. Is that what you told them?
Yeah.
Who was that person?
She went by the name of Khadijah.
Khadijah. How'd you know Khadijah?
Because she used to go to that gas station on 6 Mile and John Martin.
How'd you know she was a prostitute?
She walks around with her chest out and her bottom out.
And late at night.
Yeah, it's late at night, early in the morning, like if we're going to my grandma, you would see her.
Walking the streets in an area that's a high prostitution area, is that true?
We would normally see her by Woodward.
Who's
Right.
we?
Everybody
Who's everybody?
that involved, anybody that stayed in the neighborhood. But speaking with just me, you would see her everywhere around Woodward, John R., 7 Mile, and everyone knew who she was and what she did.
You on friendly terms with her back then?
No, I didn't know her.
Did you engage in that kind of activity?
No, sir.
You weren't trying to turn a trick on that particular
No,
street?
sir.
Trying to hook up with somebody that might be driving by?
No, sir.
But you walked alone, 11 o'clock at night, wearing, what again?
I know I had on my scarf and a jacket. I don't remember the attire I had on, but it wasn't nothing provocative. I was fully clothed.
It was November, so it was pretty cold out.
Yeah, I was fully clothed. And I have a cigarette addiction, so yeah, I would leave at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning to go get a cigarette.
Had you been taking any medication on that particular night that might have altered your thought process?
I'm sorry, that was
Were
really
you
fast.
were you taking any medication that evening that would have altered your thought processes?
My seizure medication.
Just your seizure?
Yes, sir.
Were you under the influence of any narcotics?
No, narcotics. I do smoke marijuana.
Yeah, okay. Were you smoking marijuana that evening?
Yes, I was.
Had you been drinking?
I don't call drinking, but I know I was smoking.
You were at a party?
No.
You were with some friends at your aunt's house?
Yeah.
And y'all were playing cards? Is that
Yeah, we
right?
were playing cards. They were cooking. It was like, just regular house stuff.
How many people were there?
And 5, me, Dante, Corn, True, my aunt, and 3 other girls.
You've been saying a name that maybe I'm mishearing. Because we're getting old.
True is Demetrius. I
No,
apologize.
I got that. Are you saying Corn?
Yes,
C-O-R-N?
yes,
That's a nickname, obviously.
yeah.
Do you still stay in contact with all these people?
No, I don't.
You have any way of knowing where they are?
No, I just remember the last residence they stayed at, and that was almost 9 years ago.
During the course of the medical examination, the doctors asked you if you were not under the influence, but if you had any mental health issues,
An
correct?
objection, Your Honor, to relevance.
It goes to our ability to proceed, Judge.
She already testified, Your Honor, she was on seizure medication and just needs marijuana.
I'm not asking about medications, I'm talking about something a little bit more detailed. There's nothing to do with medication.
For both counsel, we're gonna get this really short.
Of course. Sure. Isn't it true that you told the doctors that you're bipolar and schizophrenic?
Yes,
And you just told us that you're not taking any medication other than for your seizures. Isn't that true?
my seizure medication is Keppra. It helps with bipolar
Yeah.
and seizures.
Yeah, it sure does.
Yes, but I didn't,
Mhm.
the doctors didn't prescribe me any schizophrenia medication
Really?
because I was in a placement center and they evaluated me. So the only thing that I was able to take was my Keppra. That helped with my bipolar 1 depression and my seizures.
And schizophrenia is where you hallucinate and see things that aren't really there. Isn't that true?
Objection, Your Honor.
Okay, it's the same. Counsel, let's lay a more careful foundation.
Sure.
Just to be clear, one, to clarify which medication she was on. Plaintiff did indicate in testimony that she was taking medication for her seizure.
Yes.
And would appreciate you asking to clarify, because then the question is whether or not if that particular medication manages the seizure only, or if it also manages bipolar condition, otherwise we really do it.
Sure.
About that, was, again, just to clarify.
Right, you testified that the Keppra was dual prescription and a dual purpose route. Treated your bipolar condition and your seizures, true?
Yeah.
Okay. And you said that for schizophrenia, they weren't prescribing you anything?
Yes, the placement center, I had to be reevaluated because I was diagnosed with schizophrenia and bipolar by the justice system. It's a psychiatrist therapist place where I would go. And when I went to the placement center, they didn't see that I had schizophrenia, but they seen I had bipolar.
So, when you told the doctors that you were schizophrenic and bipolar, that wasn't true.
I was just giving them what other doctors had given me because I'm not a doctor,
Right.
but I will give information that's given to me.
And you said the Justice Center, is that criminal?
Objection, Your Honor, to relevance as to whether or not she was.
Sustained, not we need to move forward, so if anything that the
Sure.
plaintiff has indicated, the conditions that she's aware of, again, based on what she was informed of, and that's as far as that can go, and what medication she can. She did testify that she wasn't like.
You've been convicted of a crime of theft, dishonesty, or false statement within the last 10 years?
Could you repeat that, please?
Sure. Have you been convicted of a crime of theft, dishonesty, or false statement within the last 10 years?
No.
Yeah, just a minute, Judge. Did you get any kind of medical treatment for the punches to the face?
I was just given ibuprofen.
Did you do any follow-up with any doctors or anything like that direct?
No,
How about the leg injury? Did you receive any treatment for that?
just ibuprofen because it was no broken bones.
Did you do any follow-up treatment after that?
Sir.
Just a minute. And during the course of the sex between you and this other person, you said that you were unconscious, pretending to be unconscious.
Yes, sir.
And you recall making a statement to the police that you were actually screaming several times.
I did let them know when I got out of the vehicle and I called for help. Yeah, I was frustrated. I didn't know what else to do. I never had that situation happen to me.
Who was the first? I'm sorry. Who was the first person you told?
My parents, they were the people that picked
The people that picked you up.
Yeah,
And didn't the police try to find out who that person was?
that picked me up. I gave them the information.
And didn't you tell the police that they didn't want to be involved because they weren't talking to the police?
No, that was the second DNA that they found. It was a boyfriend I had at the time.
Oh,
They found, yes.
so there was more than one DNA male contributors in the sample that was presented?
Yes,
Okay. And was that, you said it was a boyfriend? So
yes. Yes.
at the time. And that was a partner of yours with whom you had intercourse with, correct?
Yes,
And how much time between this sex act and that sex act?
no, I don't recall.
Well, a couple of days,
I don't remember.
a couple of hours,
I don't remember.
same day.
Objection, Your Honor, she doesn't remember.
There's different questions.
Okay, well, they are in overall, specifically, these questions do go to, different time frames. So they are individual questions. So those will, be,
You remember telling the police that it actually was like a covered disc?
No, I don't remember doing that.
And that partner that you had, was that with or without protection?
Without protection.
When I say protection,
I know.
well, it's just so that
Thank you.
the judges. This person that the sex act in the car, did this person ever leave their name?
Could you repeat that?
Yeah, the sex act, did this person ever give you a name?
No.
Which direction did they lead after you were, before you called your friends and after you were out?
Pulled off and turned right.
What street did they turn?
I don't know the side streets or this street. I just remember the street I was on.
Do you remember, I know this is a crazy question, but do you know if the lamp was lit to show the driver's license plates? Did you see the plate?
No, because they did ask me, like, and I couldn't give it to them.
Weren't paying attention, actors.
You know,
This house that this happened right next to, porch light on, green bench, and white columns or white fencing. Did you go to that house and pound on the door to say, how?
I was on the ground still.
So,
Yes, sir.
you were on the ground for about 20 minutes before your friends showed up, true?
I don't think it was that long. I don't think it was that long.
How long
I'm
was
not
it?
sure.
I'm sorry.
I'm not sure.
Did you know where you were?
I was on Margaret.
Did you know then where you were when this happened?
No, not until we initially got in the car, because I knew that I was going to be questioned once I got to the hospital.
That wasn't-
So, because I gave them the other street that I had went on.
My question was when you got out, thank you for that. When you got out of the car, and you called your friends.
Mhm.
Did you ask?
Yes,
And you called your friends. Did you tell them what street to pick you up on?
I believe so, but I don't remember though. I just know they did come.
Remember telling them, I don't know where I'm at.
I know.
That's why it took them 20 minutes to try to find you.
I'm sorry.
And that's why it took them 20 minutes to try to find you.
I'm not sure if it was 20 minutes.
And did you call 911 yourself?
No, the hospital did.
The hospital called?
Yeah.
Your phone was working, that's true.
Yes,
Why didn't you call 911 right then?
I'm not sure.
You didn't initiate police contact, it was the hospital, true?
The hospital asked me did I need to contact the police. I told them yes.
So this street where this occurred on, you said it was, on what street was it again? Margaret?
I believe that's the street we were parked on.
And where were you walking on, which street was it?
I don't remember. I know that I was walking from John Wright to Charleston.
The gas station is where?
The gas station was on 6 and John Wright.
6 and John.
The only gas station that sells uses around
So 6 and John, and then you're traveling back towards your aunt's house, true?
here. Yeah.
Which is closer to 7 Mile, right?
No, it's like in the middle. Like in the middle.
Well, is it, if I was to keep going north, well, in that direction rather, would I eventually pass 7 Mile?
No, you won't have that.
So you're going south of 6 Mile?
No. That's John Wright going towards Charleston.
That's, I'm talking about your walk back to your aunt's house.
Mhm.
From the gas station, 6 and John.
Okay, ma'am, we need to give verbal yes and no responses. So counsel will question again.
Yeah, so when you're leaving the gas station and you're on foot,
Yes,
traveling back towards your aunt's house.
yes,
And if you were to keep going past your aunt's house in that same direction, you eventually would get to 7 Mile.
yes,
Okay, so you were traveling northbound.
yes.
Okay. And this happened, this Margaret Street, and what was across the other street?
Charleston is
Charles.
side street.
Do you pass Charleston, or do you pass Margaret, when you're walking in that direction,
I didn't reach Charleston yet,
but you were walking on,
towards Charleston.
you're walking on Charles or Margaret.
No, I was on another street. We ended up going to Margaret.
What street were you on
I
there
don't,
to get
I
there?
don't remember. I just know the street I had to go come get me from. And the street that the detectives helped me go through over the map in my hospital. Because I told them, I remember seeing the street Hydale. I remember that street, and then they had to go over the streets with me again to make sure exactly which street I was on.
So that
So
got you.
I don't know the exact street I was walking on, but I know which street I ended up on.
So the report, you told the police on Hilldale Street, that would be incorrect.
Oh, I said Hydale.
Hydale.
I pronounced it wrong.
So Hydale would be incorrect.
Yeah.
So. So when you were dragged back to the car, were you taken to the car from the back side of it, or did you have to cross the front side of the car? Front side. So the headlights would have been behind you, correct?
Yes,
And were they on or off?
I don't remember.
Thank you, I know.
Anything on the camera?
Yes, Judge, briefly, thank you. Ms. Ray, you testified on cross-examination about statements you made in 2013 versus in 2023 or 2024. And was your memory better then or now about this incident?
It was fresher then, because they asked me right as soon as after.
And you were asked on cross-examination whether you spoken to police officers after November 28, 2013. And I believe you said you didn't speak to anyone else, to any other officers at that time.
Yeah, and I left the hospital, I spoke to no one else.
Do you know if the police tried to contact you through other people or left you voice messages?
As I gave in the statement earlier, the detectives came to my brother's house, who lived on Chaucer and Brock, and they left a card, but I wasn't sure what they came for, so I never went back to get it.
So it's possible they had conversations with other people, but not you directly.
Yeah, I don't think they conversated with my brother about it, because he didn't say anything about it, he was confused.
Thank you. And Ms. Ray, finally, you talked about your boyfriend back in 2013.
Yes,
And have you ever reviewed any DNA reports in this case?
at 2023, when they let me know that it was 2 DNAs found.
Okay, but you looked at the reports? No, okay, so you were just told that DNA was found?
Yeah, and then when I was, took him to, the Avalon building, we were going over the case about what would happen today. The only thing that I seen was, they had, both of their, portfolios.
Okay, but as far as you know, you have never actually looked at the DNA reports, is that correct?
No.
Okay. But you were asked if there could be any other consensual partners in 2013?
Yes,
And the person you had agreed to have sex with back then was your boyfriend?
at the time, yes.
Court's intelligence. Last question, Ms. Ray. Do you know the names of the officers that worked on your case in 2013?
No, I just learned them today.
Thank you, Judge. No further questions.
Thank you. Anything
Thank
on
you.
the
Based
recalls
on-
again, into the scope of the redirect counsel?
So when you testified just a few moments ago, you didn't know why the police were trying to contact you, and they only spoke to your brother. Do you remember what those questions being posed to you?
About the police coming.
Right.
Yes.
And this would have been shortly after the sex that brings you court here today.
It was hot when my brother called me, so no.
So in no time during the time of months or weeks after this incident, did they try to reach your brother to contact you?
No, they didn't have a phone number. They just came to his house with the card, letting him know they were looking to speak to me. And that was the message he gave me.
When was that?
It had to be the summertime of the next year because it was hot outside when I received it.
Thank you. Oh, one last question. You had indicated your boyfriend. What was his name?
Lindell Smith.
Lindell Smith. Thank you.
Anything further on behalf of the people, your witnesses?
No, no other witnesses.
Okay, thank you. Ma'am, step down, please.
All right, so now you can start binge watching our videos. Link is in the scroll bar. How did you feel about this case? The truth teller strikes again, Judge Simpson. He was able to tell her how TI is. You're a danger to society. Drugs and alcohol are two of the worst components that was ever created. Now, don't get me wrong, there are components in life that naturally get you high. Mushrooms, even dolphins. I said this on a number of videos. They use puffer fish to get high. So, number of people use different components to get high, but just don't get high. How about that? But put it in the comments. How do you feel about this case? This is Antonio with Team Tiggio. Some people just be out of their French toast mind. I said it. Some people be out of their French toast mind, and they need to just calm down. Just calm down because it ain't right to be drunk and doing things that you don't have to do. Do it at home. Do it when you're off. Don't get behind the wheel and drink. Don't do those type things. Make sure you start visiting the website. You'll be able to now go to our website and just start looking at all of our videos. Link is in the scroll bar. We'll see you in the next.